Good morning, Kootenai County residents. Firefighter Tony Blasek here with you, and we wanted to take an opportunity to introduce you to our brand new fire chief. He started 2 weeks ago, and we wanted to give you a chance to have a little informal interview with brand new fire chief, Chris Way.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanst, Chief. Thanks for coming out.
You bet.
Doing this little
Absolutely.
interview with us. So we're going to ask you a few questions. I know you came into our department in a very odd time with COVID-19 and then unfortunately some other circumstances here in the last week or so. But
Sure.
How's your first couple weeks been?
Well, it's been very exciting, been very busy. Obviously, I mean, a lot of it is just getting to know everybody and getting to know the department. I think I knew everybody, but it's obviously different knowing them on a level like this. So it's kind of just catching up. We're in the middle of trying to do a budget right now. As you said, we're winding down the COVID and looking towards a few other things. And we've got the wildfire season coming up. So it's just making sure we have everything dialed in and ready to serve.
Perfect. Well, we do appreciate the leadership you provided here in the last couple of weeks.
Sure.
You kind of hit the ground
Well, thank
running.
you.
But wanted to ask you a few informal questions and get the residents of Kootenai County to get a chance to meet you. So
Perfect.
first, tell us about yourself, your family life, and a little bit of your work history.
Okay, well, so again, Chris Way, and I'm the new fire chief here at Kootenai County Fire and Rescue. I've been involved in emergency services for 28 years, started as a volunteer firefighter and a volunteer EMT, and worked my way up, went to paramedic school. I actually did EMT and junior firefighter while I was in high school. And as soon as I graduated high school, went to paramedic school and have worked either full-time in the fire department or EMS for the last 26 years. So very excited to be part of Kootenai County Fire and Rescue. I'm married to my wife, Jennifer, who's an ER nurse, and we have two beautiful daughters. One of whom is a junior, just finishing her junior year at Boise State, and then we have a daughter that is just finishing her freshman year at Lake City High School.
Well, being from northern Idaho and a Vandal, I'm not going to hold that against her.
Well, that's all right. You guys play in a different league than we do. Oh, isn't that flag football you play?
That's true.
Okay,
It's true.
just checking.
But I'm not going to go any further. It's going to get ugly. So tell me what your greatest accomplishment is, and how about one personal and one professional?
Okay, I think obviously the biggest personal accomplishment in life is probably raising two beautiful daughters that are well equipped to move on in life and be great citizens and great adults. I think we're very, very proud of both girls and very excited for their futures.
I can only hope so much as a dad myself.
Yep.
They're little guys.
It's it's pretty exciting to watch them grow up from your kids' age to our kids' age and watch them get ready to figure out what the next steps are. So it's been pretty exciting. And then I'd say the biggest professional accomplishment is probably getting selected as the new fire chief of Kootenai County Fire and Rescue. You know, I think everybody sets goals and they don't know what those goals are. And certainly 28 years ago, I wouldn't have imagined doing this. But this is a pretty exciting time to be leading an organization, and to be leading this organization's pretty incredible. The men and women of Kootenai County Fire and Rescue are just the best in the business, and to get to be a member of that team's pretty neat. And I'm very excited for our future together.
Well, you gave me a great segue bringing up goals. What are your goals for your first year? And then give us a couple medium and a long range of 10.
Okay,
years.
so the first year is obviously making sure that we've got all the tools we need immediately to do our jobs. And I think there have been great people in front of me that have done a good job of setting the future in the right direction. But I think we've got to nail down some things and getting some things right in the organizational structure. So those are some things we're going to do pretty immediately. We're going to be adding a deputy chief of operations to the organizational structure in the next few weeks, and very excited for that because operations is obviously the largest part of what we do. And so having somebody who's an experienced operator watch over that area is really important to me. I think then looking at our future, obviously we've got unprecedented growth not only in Post Falls, but in Kootenai County that we're going to be responsible for dealing with. And so while we have to be responsible to the taxpayer and be responsible to our current citizens, we also have to anticipate what does our increasing call volume look like in 3 years and look like in 5 years, and like you suggested, even 10 years and 15 years. And so we're going to have some very big projects. We just added 9 new staff members this year to make sure that we have at least 3 people on every apparatus, except the ambulances have 2. but all of our engines and ladders have at least three personnel on them now, which was hugely important. But we have to look at what's next. Is it adding just an apparatus? We look at the growth areas that don't have stations close by. Do we add another station in those areas? So that's really got to be accomplished a lot in the next 5 years. And then I think the 10-year plan has to be that we're really beginning to look like, you know, what does our response look like to not only our citizens, but the rest of the citizens? And how do we continue to partner with the other agencies that we're already partnering with? I mean, just over the incidents you've mentioned, like the COVID and obviously this week with some protesters, our reach extends beyond the fire service. We're providing all the emergency medical service in our fire district. We work every day with our law enforcement partners on keeping our citizens safe. So it's really making sure that the future is set for the immediate with our personnel, the future for where we're going in station development and personnel development, and then looking at that, what does that 10-year mark look like? Where are we at with our partnerships and where are we at with other agencies? And looking at how we best serve our citizens, doing it fiscally responsibly, but also being able to meet all the growing demands that a growing area brings.
That's well done. So what I'd like to do now is kind of get you a chance to kind of look right there in the camera and tell our citizens of Kootenai County Fire and Rescue what they can expect from you and your leadership.
Well, I think they can expect absolute transparency. I mean, I think any government agency needs the trust of the citizens. I think we have an incredible thing in Kootenai County. I've never lived in a community where first responders are better supported, whether that's financially or supported emotionally or supported with just the citizens going out of their way to support us. And so thank you to the citizens for doing that. In return, I think we owe them the right to be absolutely transparent with how we're going to grow, how we're going to do, what our operations are like. Now, that doesn't mean giving them all access to our personnel all the times and things like that, but it certainly means being responsible to the citizens. I think they can look for somebody who's going to be completely honest and somebody who occasionally has to deliver bad news. Honesty can come in good things and come in bad ways, but they're never going to have to wonder where I'm sitting on an issue. I think they're going to be able to expect that I'm a team player. I think that I'm one of 84 people at Kootenai County Fire and Rescue. Although that some days I don't actually get to come out and run the calls or squirt the water on the fire or stop the bleeding on the patient, is that I'm just a team member like everybody else. And so I think as long as they expect that of me, the thing that I ask of the citizens is that they continue to support us like they always have. I continue to ask them to engage with us. I think some of the things we're doing like this, I mean, you guys have done an amazing job with the transparency of the department, where we really had to change how we operate during COVID and look at how we went from having, you know, kindergarten classes into the stations to how do we go get with them. I think that's also the future of us coming out, is we don't necessarily have to do it in person. I'd love to get back to the point where we can do some of that. But man, I really want to get to the point where people can look on our Facebook page or on our website or whatever it is and see an absolute transparent department and feel like they're as much part of our fire department as we are part of their community.
That was great. So I'm going to ask you the most important question here and really bring it to a serious level. If we were making a movie, if a movie was going to be produced about your life, which actor would you choose to star as you and why?
Wow. My wife would tell you it should be Matthew McConaughey, but that's for a totally selfish reason. Wow, what actor would Sean Connery.
All right.
I mean, he's obviously a lot older than I am.
He's gonna have to work on his accent.
He's gonna have to work on his accent, but
get in the gym a little
I mean, yeah, clearly. But I think that you know, when you think of the things that you look at that Sean Connery did, I remember so many lines from like The Hunt from Red October and things like that. And you look from him and from some of his leadership roles that he's played in some of those movies. I guess I'd have to say, sorry, Jennifer, but I'm going to pick Sean Connery, not Matthew McConaughey.
Well, I'm sure she's super upset.
Yeah, she's probably really paying attention closely.
Well, I appreciate your time, Chief, and thanks for coming out and meeting with us. And we'll look forward to a few more.
Absolutely. Appreciate the opportunity, Tony. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
You bet.